Mr. Squidward, welcome to the night shift.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the night shift with James Gonzalez, Lauro Antonio. Isaiah Leong will be joining us shortly. Also, I want to say a happy anniversary to the MI6 Sports Network and to all our colleagues out there. I'm very thankful that I got this opportunity to join the MI6 Sports Network a year ago today, and it was around this time, and Isaiah and I first met around this time last year, and then I first appeared on Wild Sports Talk when Isaiah was host, and then since then, Adam Barber took over as host, and then I have now handed the responsibilities of hosting Extra Point, Night Shift, and Wild Sports Talk now. As you all know, I'm with James Gonzalez. How are you doing today, my friend?
Oh, maybe a little under the weather, but I'm gonna keep the strength to be on tonight. Very special landmark. I'm happy to be a part of this network, however long it may be. The opportunity I'm very grateful for, and somewhere to talk sports, I'm all for it. I just can't believe it's been, 2 years of the network. And Isaiah mentioned in the video just a couple minutes ago how it started. And I just started, commenting on videos and whatnot. And it just started from there, and more interaction with people. And I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be here too. And Sardol from the SG Sports Talk channel says hi, James. He wanted to say hello as well. So, anyways, let's get into some good stuff here. We have a lot of good stuff for you when it comes to college basketball. Coach K and Duke outlast Tom Izzo and Michigan State in a back-and-forth affair. 85-76 was the final, and Duke advanced to the Sweet 16. James, what are your thoughts on this game? It was fun seeing Coach K and Tom Izzo go head-to-head for one last time.
Yeah, I think it was their fifth matchup together going at it, and I wondered how many times the cameras were going to go on the coaches more than on the players today, since it could have been Coach K's last game. And Tom Izzo, the fact he is, always energetic, getting after the referees, getting after his players. You saw it all today. Duke was always a step ahead in this game, as you could see by the box score. Very good game, though. Very exciting. Michigan State had 3 players in double figures, but Duke had 5, led by the star player, Paolo Banchero. He's been leading them the whole way. And for Duke to get to the Sweet 16 now, they're going to have to make a good run here, because the other number 1 seeds are in there. I know they're not, but to make it to the top, to leave Coach K out on a high note, it's going to have to take a lot. It's going to have to take all the players. They had 3 players with 15 points too, so definitely a team effort in this game. Like I said, the number 2 seed Blue Devils had right away the whole game over the number 7 seeded Michigan State Spartans. I was really all over the place, but watching this game closely, especially in the kind of late moments in the second half. But Then Duke kind of pulled away, and then it was really nothing after that. But congratulations to Coach K. Gets out of the first round, second round, and now to the Sweet 16.
I'll tell you, I can't wait to see Duke win it all. And I think, and also Chardol had some comments on that. He said that that Duke versus Michigan State game was one of the most exciting matchups that I've ever seen in a while. And he also says happy second birthday to the MI6 Sports Network, which is our anniversary with the network. And this is basically my 1 year anniversary with MI6. And Isaiah said he's going to be on in about 20 minutes, so we can't wait to hear Isaiah's take on today and on today's world of sports. Anyways, Iowa State continues stunning turnaround from 2-22, overwhelms Wisconsin 54-49 to land in the Sweet 16. James, what are your takeaways on this? And for the first two rounds, we have seen a lot of upsets.
Yeah, I'm very happy for Iowa State. Like you just mentioned, they were 2-22. They were in despair last season. And now to make it to the Sweet 16, like Sparoditas pointed out in the game, I'm very happy for them. And honestly, they played their style of game. They didn't let Wisconsin score when they needed to. They stopped them defensively, kept it a low-scoring ball game too. So I really like that in this Big Ten matchup in the tournament. Iowa State being the 11th seed, you figure, okay, they're going to lie down now. They're going to have the one crazy win. Number 3, Wisconsin, coming in at 25-9. They were just going to ball out. But credit to Iowa State. They played so well when they needed to. They were led by Gabe Kalschiller with 22 points there, just like his number. Brogdon with 10. And then it was widespread scoring for Washington, even though Jonathan Davis had 17 points and Brad Davidson had 12. There wasn't really much else on the scoreboard for Wisconsin. So it's one of those perfect games that need to be played for the Cyclones, and they really did. So, I hope, in all these underdog cases, my personal wanting is in March Madness, the underdogs make it all the way instead of the Blue Bloods, and Wisconsin here being one of those teams, I guess, one of the lower tier Blue Bloods, losing, it just makes it sweeter for me, and it makes it more intriguing. Now, I hope Iowa State can keep it going, but, of course, as everybody knows, the higher you go into the tournament, the harder it gets. So I'm interested to see how the Cyclones storm to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be a really good Sweet 16. We'll break down the matchups here in just a minute here. And Miami stunningly destroys number 2 Auburn to advance to the Sweet 16. If you take a look at this Auburn team, this Auburn Tigers team on paper is really good. And Bruce Pearl is a great coach. I'll tell you that. And he's done a great job with Auburn. He knows the SEC very well. He did great things at Tennessee. But they lost. I mean, I thought this team was going to go far, but the Miami Hurricanes with an upset victory.
That's why they call it March Madness. Anything can happen. And Coach Larinera for Miami had the game plan. They had it against USC, sadly for me. They stopped the inside, and Mobley couldn't get going. But, that's more on Auburn to lose today. And the way that they did, 79-61, being the 2 seed and out of it. They were 28-7, so they shouldn't have been 28-6, but it shouldn't have been this bad. And you have to play your best when your best is needed, and they just didn't. And shout out to Cameron McGusty, I love that name, for the Hurricanes had 20 points, and then Wong had 21, Moore with 15, Miller with 12. When you get 4 double figures and scoring like that for a program unknown, you got a shot. Auburn did have 4 players in double figures, but the 2 leaders only had 12 points. So they were really cold, but credit to Miami's defense. Like I said, the head coach there for Miami basketball really drilled a good game plan. I was watching, how they were setting up the game plan for the defensive strategy, and it was really good. And Jim Larrañaga had an awesome game plan for that to beat USC and now to beat Auburn. If they continue this defensive pace, it's going to be a really, really nice thing for them. But credit to them. I don't think anybody had Miami going to the Sweet 16. They were looked down upon in the ACC, so I'm just happy for the Hurricanes, because when you think of Hurricanes, you think of college football, but they haven't been so good in a while. And to have the basketball program making moves like this and succeeding, it's very exciting for all those people in South Florida.
It sure is. But anyways, what was your reaction to Mississippi State hiring New Mexico State head coach Chris Jans to be their next head coach? Do you think that this could help the Mississippi State basketball program?
Well, Mississippi State, they're known for their women's program, so they need to get their men's program back up and going. Chris Jans, of course, has led New Mexico State over this year in the first round win over whoever it was, UConn, on Thursday. And then they almost upset number 4 seeded Arkansas Saturday night. He did post a 122-32 record. He had 5 seasons at New Mexico State. He brought them back up to where they should be. And Mississippi State there, if you recall, Ben Howland, he was a UCLA coach before they had their runs of coaches. He couldn't get New Mexico State going. And hopefully Johns can recruit well. Hopefully he can get them going in the right direction. They do play in a tough conference of basketball, so that's going to be interesting to see there. Before he was at he was at Bowling Green, and he was getting them to the promised land almost. But I really thought New Mexico State finally got on the scene here this year, and going to Mississippi State now, like I said, they play in a really tough basketball conference, and they got to rise to the top now, but it's pretty tough because you got Kentucky, Auburn. I know Alabama was there, but not this year. They're trying to find their way, the Tide. But kudos to him, and it's just funny, all these colleges, and you see the thing with Chris Beard, he's bounced around some programs, and he's gone different places and had success. He's younger than Johns, but hopefully Johns can keep the success going on all these 5-year plans to different universities.
Anyways, folks, let's break down the Sweet 16 matchups. We got Gonzaga and Arkansas, Texas Tech and Duke, North Carolina and UCLA, and Purdue and St. Peter's. And on the other bracket, we got Arizona and TCU, Houston and Illinois, Michigan and Villanova, and Kansas and Providence, and Iowa State and Miami, Florida. Let's make our picks first. So who I like between Gonzaga and Arkansas, I'm actually picking Gonzaga to beat Arkansas. It's not going to be like a blowout or something. I think this is going to be a competitive game.
Definitely a competitive game. One thing I would like to see with Gonzaga is Chet Holmgren go all out. It seems like a couple of games he's trying to find his way into these tournament games. He's not as aggressive, or the defense is good against him. So I want to see him break out in the Sweet 16. But man, the guy who went off in that second round was Tame for Gonzaga. I mean, he got on a hot streak you dream to be on as a basketball player, where he was making every shot, bank shot, you know, a 2+1 shot. He was just all over the place. And if they had continue to have that and Holmgren play well, Gonzaga may be unstoppable all the way to the championship. So I got Gonzaga winning that one.
So I have Gonzaga going to the Elite Eight. Who will be playing Gonzaga in the Elite Eight? I had this on my bracket. Texas Tech and Duke, they're playing in the Sweet 16. I had that be my Sweet 16 matchup. I actually have Duke winning. And my first Elite Eight matchup I have is Gonzaga and Duke.
I would have that too. Yeah, I can't see Texas Tech, the Red Raiders, defeating Duke. I think Duke has some explosive talent that will just beat the Red Raiders, and they were kind of shaky today. But I got Duke.
And then we talk about from St. Mary, who I like to win between UCLA and North Carolina, as UCLA had a blowout win over St. Mary's. As a Duke fan, do I like North Carolina? No. I mean, I credit Hubert Davis for the job that he's done since taking over for Roy Williams, but I don't think I think North Carolina is going to get eliminated. And my pick for this Sweet 16 matchup, I have UCLA beating North Carolina.
Yeah, I do too. I'm just like you, where in this case, I like USC, of course, but I just know that UCLA, they have the talent. They just have to play better in the last couple of minutes. It seems like they've won games close, but they've lost games close. And the thing is with North Carolina, there was one player who got ejected for elbow. I don't know if he's going to be suspended or not. And that would be very interesting as the days go on until Friday, if he's going to play. If not, then it should be UCLA by a lot. But I don't really care who wins. I think UCLA will win, though. Again, I think they have more talent than North Carolina, but North Carolina can get hot, and UCLA can be kind of careless with the ball despite the seniors they have, like Tiger Campbell, but they have Juicing, they have Riley, and some other guys, Jaquez there, that provide the offensive scoring from the outside. Not Campbell, he's more of an inside player. So that would be interesting to see, but I think UCLA wins that as well.
And then who do I have UCLA playing? Originally, I had UCLA playing Kentucky in the Elite Eight, but that's not going to happen here. You know what? Who is going to play UCLA in the Elite Eight? I selfishly, I'm going to pick UCLA and St. Peter's University, because St. Peter's has been this year's Cinderella story, and I always like a good Cinderella story in the tournament, and nobody even picked them to go far. So UCLA and St. Pete in the East Region Elite Eight.
Yeah, that's what I've got in my bracket. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, because originally in my bracket, I had UCLA and Kentucky, but Kentucky got eliminated, and basically my bracket is somewhat busted.
Yeah, and then Baylor, with them losing too.
Yeah, I had Baylor going to at least the Sweet 16 and them getting knocked out.
Yeah, that's just crazy how it went. But that was, I'll tell you what, I know Chardot mentioned, that the game today was very good. That was an all-time game, but I think Baylor and North Carolina Saturday trumped that one.
So, anyways, let's talk about. Let's go to the South region right now. We got the Arizona Wildcats going up against the Houston Cougars. Calvin Sampson has done really good things for that program at Houston. But you know what? I'm going to pick Arizona to go to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, I think that'll be an easy game from Houston there. Or I'm sorry, AT&T Center. So it's San Antonio. Yeah, I think Arizona has more talent than Houston. Houston does play with some heart. They do play with some energy. But you saw the Arizona game tonight. If you did against TCU, they can get behind. So that game should be really close. But Arizona has the more talent to win that game, in my opinion. So I'll go with the Wildcats.
And then in my Sweet 16 pick, I had Michigan going up against Loyola Chicago. But Loyola Chicago got knocked out in the first round. That was kind of one of my upset picks. I wanted them to beat Ohio State, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I really wanted the upper seeds to go where they were supposed to go, but yeah.
No, I wanted Loyola Chicago because they've been a Cinderella team in each tournament, and Sister Jean's a good luck charm.
Yeah, but they chose to have the worst game of the season at the really wrong time.
So who do I want between the Michigan Wolverines and the Villanova Wildcats? I actually am going to go with Jay Wright and Villanova. I didn't have Villanova going that far. I had them getting eliminated in the second round. I think Villanova is going to be going on to the Elite Eight and playing Arizona.
Yeah, I got Villanova too. I think Michigan, this is their last stop. They've had somewhat of a dream ride the first couple of rounds, but I think it comes to an end. Jay Wright has Villanova playing well today. They disposed of Ohio State today, 71-61. And I feel like they're going to beat Michigan, another Big Ten team, Thursday. Yeah, I got Villanova with that.
So in this side of the bracket, Arizona and Houston, Michigan. I have Arizona and Villanova, and then the Kansas Jayhawks are taking on Providence. I have Kansas winning this one.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. I want to, Providence, they have such a great coach there. It's been there for a while. They play at the Dunkin' Donuts Center, which I love. But Kansas, again, I think it just comes down to talent. Bill Self, great coach. As much as I want Providence, I got to go with the Jayhawks.
And then who do I have Kansas playing in the Elite Eight? I'm going to say here I had Auburn and Wisconsin meeting in the Sweet 16, but that didn't happen. I'm actually going to go with Iowa State and Kansas in the Elite Eight.
Man, that game between Iowa State and Miami, I can't wait to watch because it's teams that shouldn't be there, honestly. But they've upset who they did, and they play strong games. You got two strengths going against each other. I can't wait for that game on Friday. I really can't. And I'm gonna say Miami wins, but I hope we get a buzzer beater in that game. I really do.
Anyways, folks, now that being said, here's the schedule breakdown of the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight. The first Sweet 16 games will be on Thursday, March 24th. Gonzaga and Arkansas at 4:09 p.m. Pacific time. Villanova and Michigan at 4:29 p.m. Pacific time. And then Duke and Texas Tech at 6:39 p.m. Pacific time. That will be seen on CBS. And then Arizona and Houston will be seen on TBS at 6:59. And then on Friday, March 25th, St. Peter's against Purdue at 4:09 p.m. Pacific time. Providence and Kansas at 4:29 p.m. Pacific time. North Carolina and UCLA at 6:39 p.m. Pacific time. And Iowa State and Miami, the U, at 6:59 Pacific time. And then on Saturday, March 26th, that will be the Elite Eight, and those games will be these game times will be announced later, so that is to be determined.
Do you have St. Peter's upsetting Purdue, or do you think like I think and Purdue's just gonna beat them?
I have St. Peter's upsetting Purdue. Have them at least
amazing.
Because I kind of want them to go to the Elite Eight and play the UCLA Bruins, and I wouldn't be shocked if UCLA made it to another Final Four appearance.
I don't want that. St. Peter's would have to have a George Mason kind of run back in the early 2000s, and I'm all for it, but it seems like Purdue's been one of the best teams all year long in college basketball. But that was one game I wanted to know about what you thought, because I'm torn about it, but I think Purdue wins.
Now, with that being said, let's talk about from college to the NBA, as Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown both scored 30 points. Each of the red-hot Celtics go into the Mile High City and rout the Denver Nuggets 124-104. The Boston Celtics have been playing really good basketball at the right time. If they showed that consistency in the first half, they would have been a team that would have been contending.
Yeah, shout out to Ben's Celtics there. Jason Tatum's just playing like an MVP type of player. He had 30 points, but Jaylen Brown also had 30 points as well. Peyton Pritchard had 17. You don't see him score over, 12 a game. And then Williams had 13 there. Then there's mixed around scoring for the Celtics. Jokic had 23, and then Gordon with 13 for the Nuggets. And this goes back to the Nuggets not having Jamal Murray, and there was news today where he's not ready to come back this year, and it's going to hinder their chances in the playoffs. And I was really hoping to see Murray back, because with Curry's injury, with CP3's injury, it almost seems like the West is winnable for anyone who can make a good run. And not having Murray there is really going to hurt the Nuggets. And you saw that tonight, as you had sort of a playoff atmosphere with the Celtics coming in and all that green there at Denver. And but yeah, shout out to Tatum. He did his thing again, 30 points. Brown doing his thing. And in this NBA, to only give up 104 points in these years, that's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And then anyways, Keldon Johnson hit a buzzer beater to help the Spurs stun the Steph Curry-less Warriors in San Fran. By the final of 110-108, the Warriors have not been the same team without Steph Curry. And we're going to get to James Wiseman in a little bit.
Yeah. Josh Richardson, who was recently traded from Boston to the Spurs, he's kind of found a good place to just score, to do what he's meant to do. The defense isn't there, of course, but he's just a scorer, and he had 25 to lead the Spurs tonight. Murray with 19, Johnson with the game winner at 14. Really solid time. And then Zach Collins, who finally made an appearance this year in the NBA, had 11. For the Warriors, Clay had 24. Jordan Poole had a big 28. Porter with 16. Wiggins had 16. Draymond Green is back. He only scored 4 points. But, it's amazing without Curry how the Warriors can be so good and then be so bad sometimes. And you saw earlier this year without Clay, Wiggins was kind of stepping up. And now since Clay's been back, Wiggins has kind of been taking a back seat for scoring. But they need Wiggins for them to be good, to be great, honestly. And it's just one of those regular season games and one of those heartbreaking losses for the Warriors. But you expect them as a veteran team not to take it with them. Expect them to bounce back, honestly.
Anyways, with that being said, now we'll talk about James Wiseman, who suffered a setback in his rehab from knee surgery and now is experiencing swelling in his surgically repaired knee and is being shut down and will be out indefinitely. I'll tell you this, James, that's a big loss for the Warriors here. He could turn out being a draft bust if he doesn't even play more than 82 games.
Yeah, and then you look at his career going forward. But yeah, I was hoping he was going to come back this year and learn under Draymond Green, Kevon Looney, of how to play in that system where you don't have to do much. All you have to do is rebound as a big fella and play defense and really rebound and block shots. And it's unfortunate for Wiseman to have this setback in his rehab from the knee surgery, and to have swelling isn't good. That tells you he wasn't ready yet. But luckily, like I said, they got Draymond back. They have Looney there still. You always find some other big men help if you need it off the bench. I think the Warriors will be fine, but for Wiseman, yeah, it's one of those questions where, honestly, he might not even wear a Warrior uniform anymore if they decide to put him in a trade package and have him play somewhere else where he could get minutes in the future, since Draymond will be there a while and Looney will likely be there a little more. So I'm kind of worried about Wiseman's future. Remember, he came out of Memphis and he was highly regarded. He was highly picked, and it's unfortunate for him. But hopefully he gets the right guidance there with Golden State. Hopefully he gets back next season and he takes off. That's what I hope for James Wiseman.
I want to welcome Christy to the show here. Christy, it's been a crazy day in sports with March Madness and the NBA, and then we're going to talk some NFL in a little bit here. What's your thoughts on James Wiseman suffering a setback in his rehab from knee surgery, and he's being shut down indefinitely here?
I feel terrible for him. I mean, I just feel bad for him. I just hope rehab this time around goes well for him, because he deserves a chance to show what he can do on the court.
Absolutely. And then we're going to start with you first on this next topic with the NFL here. The Cincinnati Bengals have signed offensive lineman La'el Collins to a 3-year deal to give Joe Burrow more protection. Former Dallas Cowboys switching teams, now going to protect Joe Burrow now, and he's not going to be with Dak Prescott now. Mm-hmm. So what is your thoughts on La'el Collins leaving your Dallas Cowboys and joining the Cincinnati Bengals?
Well, I hope he does better in Cincinnati than he did in Dallas, because he got penalized a lot when he was down in Dallas. He got penalized a ton. So hopefully he can protect Joe Burrow. Help protect Joe Burrow, because I don't want that guy getting whipped around like a rag doll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's just god awful.
It was awful last year, but now they've upgraded on so many areas on the offensive line.
Yeah, they can. It still needs to get better, though, in my opinion.
What about you, James? What are your thoughts on La'el Collins signing a 3-year deal to give Joe Burrow more protection? The Bengals are doing a really good job on giving Joe Burrow some offensive line help.
Yeah, I thought of Christy right away today when these news came out. I was like, oh no, that's a kind of key part of the line. I did remember the penalties, but still, you want to have somebody familiar there on the line to protect Dak. And now he's gone. The Bengals added Alex Kappa and Ted Karras already. It's great. It's a great move for Cincinnati. You just hope that, in the scheme of things that'll help Burrow stay upright and make plays happen with his feet. Then the pocket will be secure to have a veteran presence like that, Collins. I hope it works out. Again, the penalties were the thing with Dallas, but maybe somewhere else, maybe, He'll get comfortable there. 3-year deal. That's kind of secure there. You want to get the deal wasn't going to be more than 3. And it gives the Bengals definitely a better chance to win the North again, repeat as divisional champions. They didn't lose much offensively, not yet, I guess, but defensively it seemed like they lost a lot. But at least they're taking care of their number one prize, which is Joe Burrow, and that will lead to passes and runs. So it's a great move. So I commend the Bengals front office for going out actually and making free agent moves, because in the past, they would draft for these things. They would not go and spend for an offensive line. So this is good news for any Bengals fan out there that was kind of worried about their offensive line or their future. This is really good now.
Yeah, it is very good right now, that's for sure. But anyways, we're going to start with Christy again on this final topic here. And your Boston Red Sox got Trevor Story, and he's probably going to be playing second base. But if Xander Bogaerts leaves, he probably could move to shortstop. What's your thoughts on the signing here?
I like it. I'm glad the Red Sox popped the wallet open and paid and got somebody to come there. I mean, no Freddie Freeman, no Chris Bryant. Had to go with somebody. I think definitely he can be a big help.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could be a big help here. And I do think that you have him in a lineup with Xander Bogaerts, Jackie Bradley Jr., you got Kike Hernandez playing center field. That's a good lineup.
We're going to be good. We're going to be real good.
Well, but it's the AL East is such a tough division. I'll tell you that. But James,
Blue Jays, I'm not counting the Orioles in this at all. They don't count.
The Orioles don't count here. The Orioles are they have a bad organization, and they have the organization is a mess from top to bottom.
And they even dared to offer Carlos Correa $300 million contract. Are they crazy?
I think they just did that to put their hat in the ring, honestly, just for publicity. Here you go, Correa. Here you go, Story. We're going to lowball you off.
A lot of money to play for our.
You don't need it though.
Sorry,
we don't really need you here.
Yeah. Want to welcome Isaiah, the Asian Skip Bayless, on the show. Isaiah, how are you doing tonight? And tell us your thoughts on Trevor Story going to the Boston Red Sox. And I think this is a good signing for the Boston Red Sox. They're going to have a strong and powerful lineup. You could compare that to the Dodgers lineup.
Ooh.
Well, first of all, it's great to be with you guys tonight. I just got home from the airport. It was a long day of work, but glad to be on here to talk sports. I see that my A's did not make another trade, which is, good news for the last couple of days. In terms of this move, I'm going to say that this move, I really like it because it makes the Red Sox offense, like you mentioned, Laurel, more powerful than it was last season. Trevor Story, he might not be the best defensive shortstop in all of baseball, but there's one thing that he can do, and that is he can hit. And at Fenway Park, he's going from one very hitters-friendly ballpark to another very hitters-friendly ballpark. And I think that you're going to see Trevor Story actually become a doubles machine because I think he's going to hit a lot of the balls towards left field onto the Green Monster. And that's going to be
over the Green Monster.
Over the Green Monster. That's right, Christy. But Trevor Story is going to thrive in Boston. And plus, there's going to be a lot of very potent hitters that are ahead of him. So he's going to get a lot of protection in the lineup as well. So it'll make life so much more difficult for the opposing pitcher. And for the Red Sox, I like that move. They needed it. I know Ben Kearse, who always comes on Extra Point, he was getting a little bit itchy because the Red Sox weren't doing anything this offseason, but they finally did something. But I think what Boston also needs is I think that they need another pitcher. I think they need more pitching help because especially in that division with all the big hitters that you got from the Yankees, from the Blue Jays with what they did with adding Matt Chapman, and the Reds, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, and the Rays. You're gonna have to it's going to come down to whoever can pitch the best in that division, because all of those teams can hit. So it's going to come down to the pitching. And right now, for the Red Sox pitching wise, I think they need to add another arm, especially to that starting rotation.
Especially with Chris Sale going on the DL because of the stress fracture in his rib cage. I agree. They need more pitching, and there's got to be one out there that they can get.
What about you, James? What is your initial thoughts on Trevor Story going to the Boston Red Sox?
Well, as a right-hand hitter, he's going to love, playing with the monster there, hitting it off that. The advice, though, to the pitchers, pitch slow and away to get him out, with the breaking balls. Other teams want to offer him that 6th year on that deal, but the Red Sox were the one to do it. All weekend long, it seemed like, at least on Angels Twitter, is like, oh, we're going to get Story since we didn't get Correa. And once again, I was fooled. I'm thinking about deleting my Twitter because all these different hashtags and everything. It's like, but the money wasn't going to be spent by Artie Moreno anyway of the Angels, so it wasn't going to happen anyway. But again, I think that 6th year was the breaking point there that Boston said, yeah, we'll take that extra year too. I do agree with Isaiah though. Need some more pitching there. Would sell out, like Chrissy mentioned. Story, like going to another league. I always bring up Machado when he came to the Padres back in 2019. He had a tough go at it at first. The first half of the season, and then he came out firing, and he's done pretty well since. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little slump at first with the Red Sox and Trevor Story's batting. As long as he can just get, solid hits, that's fine. And then that power will come as the starts and the at-bats come up. So it's a big move. It puts them there up again with the division, as you got 4 teams there that can compete for that. Sorry, Baltimore. With the Yankees not doing much except signing Rizzo back, you kind of have to put the Red Sox over them, and then Toronto probably over New York. Tampa Bay probably is mixed in there with New York. So again, the AL East, that's going to be a fun but powerful division, and I can't wait to see how that all goes.
Going to be interesting, that's for sure.
It is going to be interesting here. And Isaiah, you wanted to add something about Trevor's story here.
Yeah, I wanted to say that, James brought up Boston went this. He also was hesitant to go 6 years. I think the reason why Boston went the 6 years, especially in the end, is because they wanted to keep him out of New York. Because that the Yankees missed out on Correa, that they were going to try to go get Story, and the Red Sox didn't really need Story just because they have shortstop and Bogarts, but you knew New York wanted an upgraded shortstop because right now their shortstop is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and also Gleyber Torres is in there as well, though he might get traded soon. But I think Boston did not want to see another big-time bat come to the AL East and come to the Yankees.
Yeah,
so that's why I think Chaim Bloom decided to add that 6th year, just because not only do you get him to bolster your offense and bolster your team, but you also keep him away from New York and you keep him away from Toronto as well.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we have another big name free agent we should talk about here is Michael Conforto. So I kind of think that do you think he ends up, where do you think he most likely ends up? I think, is it between the San Diego Padres or the Colorado Rockies? I think that he should go to the Colorado Rockies just because you could move Charlie Blackmon to DH. What about you, Isaiah?
I think he's going to go to the Padres because I think the Padres, they need another outfield bat. And, Preller has been shut out this entire offseason thus far, except for trading for Luke Voigt, though that's really not that difference making of a move. So I think Preller wants to go and make a splash because he's just been striking out nonstop this entire offseason. And they have a need in the outfield because Tommy Pham is gone. You do have Grisham and you have other guys, but you do need to fill that second base void and that shortstop void as well. So Conforto, I think he goes to San Diego because the Padres, they're the team that really needs him the most right now.
Yeah, you can put him either in left field or right field. We want to welcome Casey King to the program. Casey, one of our loyal viewers on our MI6 programming. How's it going tonight? And are you ready to see Freddie Freeman make his Dodgers debut? We'll get to that in a minute here. You can give us your thoughts on that.
Yes, I am, Ray. It's gonna be exciting. Our Dodger offense should be on fire and hit like crazy to score runs. No excuse unless there's some big injury, but otherwise, I think this is one of the best offensive teams in the National League, maybe the whole league, as far as I know.
It might be. See, you're right about that. But where do you think Michael Conforto will go to?
Who? Which one?
Michael Conforto, since Isaiah said the Padres, and I kind of think it's between Colorado and San Diego.
Well, I'm gonna go with that's tough. I'm gonna go with the Padres. They seem to know to give up. Seems like to give up a lot, and then they just seem to fall apart.
Jeez.
And what was your overall takeaways on Trevor Story being a Boston Red Sox?
Not surprised. I mean, I knew he was leaving, but yeah, I thought the Yankees were going to go get him, but then again, I'm not. I knew he was going to the American League, though. But yeah, I'm not surprised Boston swooped in to get him.
Anyways, James, I'll go to you. What's your thoughts on where do you think Michael Conforto will go to? Is it the Padres or the Rockies? I kind of think it should be San Diego or Colorado, but if he goes to Colorado, you could definitely move Charlie Blackmon to DH.
Or trade him if anybody wants him.
Right.
Don't count out Cleveland or the Yankees either with Conforto, and then even the Mets too. But they have enough outfilders.
Yeah, don't want them.
Yeah, that was a rumor, but I think from somebody who likes the Mets. But when I saw that, I was like, I don't know if he wants to come back. And the funny thing is, in 2019, he turned down a long-time deal. And, now he's just getting these little one-year deals. If he wants to prove himself and it's a need, he should go to San Diego. Same thing with Cleveland there. But if he really wants to stick it to the Mets, he should go to the Yankees. I think San Diego really needs him. Yeah. AJ Preller was on the phone this afternoon at the game that the Padres were at, so speculation on Twitter was saying, he was trying to make a move there, and if he goes to San Diego, he would have to take way less on a 1-year deal. So that would be interesting to see if he does that. So I guess I'll go with the Padres for now.
What about you, Christy? Where do you think Michael Conforto will go to?
I'm probably going to say San Diego because they do have some needs, and he could fill one of those needs.
He definitely can, folks. But anyways, we got another guest coming on our show here, and that is Chardol from SG Sports Talk. Ooh, that's not him.
Nope, he was there, and now he's gone.
Yeah, we thought we had Chardol there, Isaiah. But anyways, let's talk about our top 5 right fielders, and I will reveal my list. So, anyways, my top 5 right fielders are Mookie Betts from my Los Angeles Dodgers, Bryce Harper from the Philadelphia Phillies, Charlie Blackmon from the Colorado Rockies, Juan Soto from the Washington Nationals, and Hunter Renfroe from the Milwaukee Brewers. Isaiah, who are your top 5 right fielders? And also, since you didn't join us here, you didn't reveal your top 5 center fielders. Can you reveal that too?
Sure. I'll start with right fielders first off. So I I'm gonna go from 5 all the way to number 1. I think from my number 5 right fielder, you know, I probably gotta go with Joey Gallo. I know he plays in New York. He's oftentimes a DH, but they consider him a right fielder, and he's got the power. He has a strong arm out there in right field. So I'll put him as my number 5 right fielder. Number 4, I think you got to go with Charlie Blackmon definitely because he's been a top 5 finisher in the National League MVP voting. His defensive numbers are average, but you know I think you got to put his offense over his defense. He's a tremendous offensive player, especially for Colorado. Number 3 on this list, you know, I'm gonna go with. I'm trying to think. There's a lot of great right fielders in Major League Baseball, but I'm going to go to Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge, you know, I know he can't stay healthy, but I mean, this dude has serious pop in his bat. And one of the most underrated parts of Aaron Judge's game is the fact that he's a really good defender out there in right field. I mean, there's so many times where he uses his 6'8" body and he goes to the wall and he doesn't even need to jump. He just reaches out and steals away a home run from the batter. So I'll put him as number 3. Number 2 and number 1, I think you could go either one with this, but it's definitely these two guys, and it's, you know, Bryce Harper and Mookie Betts. You know, it's really tough because Harper had a tremendous season last year. But I probably have to go with him as the second guy and Betts as number 1 just because of Betts' defense in right field. They're both tremendous hitters. Offensively, I'd probably give it to Harper, but defensively, I'll give it to Betts, and Betts is a tremendous base stealer as well. So I'll probably give Mookie the nod over Bryce. So I'll probably have Mookie as my number 1 and Bryce as my number 2, but it's definitely neck and neck for sure.
Definitely is neck and neck. What about your center fielders, though?
Give me a moment. I'll go to James first, or Christy, or Casey on this, and I'll try to think of a list for center field.
All right, James, we'll go over to you.
Isaiah, Mike Trout, Mike Trout, Mike Trout, Mike Trout, Mike Trout.
I knew you were going to
for
say
my right,
Mike Trout.
For my right field, I got George Springer. Even though he went to a new team, he put up some great numbers last year. The average kind of went down, but that's what you get when you just try to hit home runs. But he's one of those veteran guys on the Blue Jays you need if they want to get to the next level there, and I think he's doing a great job there. Number 4, so I put Mookie Betts in center, so that's on that one. So I got Aaron Judge as my 4th right fielder. Everything Isaiah mentioned, but the power is still there. He drove in 100 runs last year. He had 39 home runs, kind of down. But he was kind of banged up as well. Number 3, I got Bryce Harper. He had 37 home runs, 101 driven in last year. He's going to have to be better for the Phillies to get to that next level and lead by example. We'll see. Number 2, I got to go with the world champion Brave Ronald Acuna Jr. He was clutch last year. And then he got hurt, unfortunately, but it's good that he got that ring. And before he got hurt, he was awesome. So number 2, Acuna. And the number 1, I think should be a clear favorite for whomever. Juan Soto hit 35 home runs, 106 driven in, average of 310. And that surprised me with the average, since he's a real powerful hitter. But it showed you he can also, get the routine hits as well. And he's got the speed, pretty good fielder as well. So that's my number 1 is in right field is Juan Soto of Washington.
What about you, Christy? Do you have anybody in right field from 5 to 1 here?
Let's see if I can try here. I'm going to go Aaron Judge. I mean, Isaiah said it best. I mean, yeah, he was banged up, but he did produce some good numbers. And then Ronaldo Acuna from the Braves, definitely a good one. Juan Soto. Number 2, Bryce Harper, but he's really got to step it up, or the Phillies are just not going to go anywhere. And of course, I still wish he was a member of the Red Sox, but my number 1 is Mookie Betts, playing for the Dodgers.
He's on my side now.
I know
He
he's
was
on your side. I was like, I wish he was still on my side.
Yeah, he's doing great down in LA. I mean, I think that he loves it down there. And Casey, who are your top 5 right fielders heading into this season?
All right, I got number 5, Aaron Judge. Just got to stay healthy. And he's healthy, man. He's on fire.
Good.
Number 4, Bryce. I'm gonna go Bryce Harper. Another one he's got to step it up. But I think that Phillies team pitching is going to be their key. Number 3, I'm gonna go Acuna from the Braves. Number 2, Juan Soto, and number 1, got to go with Mookie, man.
Yeah, Mookie Betts is good too. And anyways, we got some final thoughts for you. It's been a great show, and let's kind of reflect on the 2 years of MI6. I've been on this program for about a year now, and I'll tell you that it's rewarding for me to form a brotherhood and all this fraternity here with all the guys that are on the MI6 Sports Networks. Casey and Christy have been our loyal viewers. And Isaiah, I know I saw your video earlier about thanking everybody who are part of the MI6 network here. So anyways, what is your overall reflection on 2 years of the MI6 network?
Well, let me start by saying this. It's that you guys all saw that video where I was thanking everybody. Today is the 2-year anniversary of the MI6 Sports Network getting going. What's really funny and mind-blowing to me is that you guys all think of me as the guy that gives like all the crazy takes and all that stuff. But this network actually started with Steven giving the crazy take and me just being like, what did you just say? And that's how it started from there. It started at a Costco gas station while we were waiting in line to get gas at Costco. And it just started from there, and from one video, and then the next thing you know, we're doing quarantine chats, and then Wild Sports Talk, and No BS, and all the shows that we got going on. And you guys heard what I said in the video, but I'm just gonna give a Cliff Notes version of it here on this final thoughts, and that is, I want to thank you, Loro, for stepping in clutch and hosting the programs, whether it's Wild Sports Talk, whether it's the night shift. I want to thank you for doing a great job in doing that. I want to thank James, Christy, and Casey. You guys, like I said earlier, you guys watch all of our programs. Whatever topic we're talking about, whether we're talking about spaghetti and meatballs, or we're talking about McDonald's closing, or we're talking about the football or basketball, baseball, hockey, etc. You guys still tune in no matter what and comment, and now you guys have jumped on the programs, which is so freaking awesome to see. And I also want to thank Callan for what he's done for MI6, the foundation that he set and laid for us. I also want to thank Steven, Furman, Martin, Ryan, Shree. I'm trying to think of other people. I don't want to leave people out. I think Sammy is on that list as well. Ben, just for everything that they've done for this network, whether it's behind the scenes or whether it's on camera, and it's just a brotherhood that we've formed here. It's a family. It's a second family that we formed here. Whether we agree or disagree, it doesn't really matter. We've just grown very close to each other, and a lot of people say that the pandemic it was a horrible time and this and that, but I always choose to live in the positive moment. And this pandemic was honestly a blessing in disguise, because without the pandemic, none of this would have been formed, and we wouldn't have gone 2 years on MI6. We wouldn't have met great fans like Christy, Casey, and even James, and met great people like Callan and Furman and all the other guys that we've met, and also formed that amazing brotherhood that we've had with the Coast to Coast guys. So just want to thank everybody, the fans, the people that have been on camera, the people that work behind the scenes for MI6. It takes a total team effort to make the network go to where it is right now. And man, to start from a Costco gas station and to go to amassing over 5,000 anchor listens, 100,000 plus views, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, etc. Almost 500 programs on MI6. I mean, it's just been a remarkable ride, and it's just been so crazy. And I can't wait to see what happens in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, big things are coming for MI6. I mean, I'll tell you guys this, that I think that this is definite. I mean, Isaiah, I thank you for meeting you 2 years ago, and like you said on our Thanksgiving special, I am your partner in crime, though.
Yeah, doing all these shows, it's just so much fun. Like every single day, I get off work and I race home from the airport, and I come home just to be on the show because I want to, give my thoughts and feelings about whatever's going on in the sports world. So it's just been truly a blast, and I can't wait for many more memories to come.
Yeah, we're going to have more coming up here. I mean, MLB Palooza's coming up. You don't want to miss out on that. What about you, James? What are your final thoughts and also your reflection on 2 years of the MI6 Sports Network? You started out being our loyal viewer, and now you're a permanent member of the program.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, opportunity to be here is very special, to talk sports, and first commenting with everyone was really nice, and then to be in the show is something amazing. Something about that. The relationships I've had now with people, with almost everyone here, is just awesome, and that's just the amazing point. And then to keep meeting different people and to have conversations, to be in group chats, and then to talk more about sports and to get into stuff with people, and it means a great deal to me. These last couple of years have been just a whirlwind of emotions, honestly. And I said this to Colin before, and I said the Dan Patrick show in the mornings on my way to work was definitely something to help me through the pandemic at first when all the games were stopped. And then at night, the MI6 shows would come up, and I would tune into that too. And even though there wasn't any games, there was still stuff to talk about. And so I credit these two programs, and then being part of this is very special. Thank you to Isaiah for letting me in. That means a lot to me. And however long this goes, I'm just happy to be a part of it. Nothing really much else except, thank you guys for having me on every show. I have all these different thoughts on, sports and the games, and really know where to, talk about them, except in my head, because I could comment, I can, post on Facebook or whatever, but I think it's really better to get rid of it verbally and on a show like this and all the programs and all the networks. It means a lot to me to be here. So I thank you for that. And I can't wait for what the future holds here.
What about you, Christy? I mean, you're a loyal viewer of this program, and now you come on our shows every frequently now. Yep. I mean, what are your thoughts on 2 years of the MI6 Sports Network?
Well, I was just one of those people just browsing around Facebook. I find the MI6, and I'm like, oh, this looks cool. And then I got hooked. Especially with the pandemic going around, I needed something as a distraction. So doing, just watching stuff like No BS, Wild Sports Talk, Fan Response, that definitely was, definitely a distraction for me to kind of keep my mind off of everything. And, having already known Callan from when I used to go on his podcast, sharing an interest in the WNBA, and then finding him here and being a part of these shows, it's just awesome. And getting to meet all you guys is always, it's just been fantastic. I really have a great time every time I come on these shows.
Yeah, it's fun having you comment on our shows and all that. And Casey, I mean, you're one of our top fans on this program here. And what are your thoughts on 2 years of the MI6 network? And would have not met you since I joined the network.
Well, first off, we'll say happy 2 years to the show. I didn't tune in. Didn't tune in the very beginning when it started. I didn't tune in until about September of 20. I just was browsing around on Facebook, and then I've met Callan a couple times prior to that at Gold's Rain game in San Diego when I've gone out there. So, and that show just got me hooked, and it's been a great. You guys are great. Great. You guys had great guests on here. Great viewers. It's amazing how the show's going. I hope it continues to go for a long, long time. And Isaiah, thank you again for having me come on here. And looking forward to the baseball season coming up pretty soon. So
let's play ball.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't wait to play ball here. Anyways, folks, with that being said, I hope everybody enjoyed tonight's episode of The Night Shift. For Isaiah, for Christy, for Casey, Laurel signing off for now. Have a great night, and we leave you with one more happy birthday video and our outro of The Night Shift, and we'll talk to you all tomorrow on Wild Sports Talk. 'Cause baby, you're a